Have you ever answered the telephone and the person on the other line was speaking a language that you did not understand? Did you muddle through and attempt to find ways to communicate with each other, or did you end the call? Have you ever traveled to another country with some very, very basic language skills or a translation book and attempt to find your way around? Language is a very important component of communication. And in order to assure that the person that you're attempting to communicate with is receiving the message or information that you're trying to convey, a shared language is key. When we're referring to spoken language, as we were in the example that I just asked, most people understand completely. But there are also other types of non-spoken language that affect the way in which we give and receive information. This webinar explores love languages. My name is Nicole Schwartz and I work as a contractor in the Family Services section of the Family and Morale, Wellness and Recreation DLA Installation Support at the Defense Distribution Center, Susquehanna in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. Providing support and assistance to the Family Advocacy Program, or FAP, is the focus of my work with DLA. Family Advocacy is a DoD-sanctioned program designed to prevent, identify, report, and treat families that have experienced domestic violence or child abuse. Monthly workshops and webinars are part of our regular programming. The premise of the love languages is based on a theory or concept by Gary Chapman. He introduced the world to this in his 1995 book, The 5 Love Languages: The Secret to Love That Lasts. Mr. Chapman is a pastor and provides pastoral counseling, and his theory is based on his own experience. I say this as a framework so you understand that I'm presenting is not necessarily evidence-based practice, and there aren't any large sociological studies that identify these as a rule, but it's a framework for understanding process and interpersonal communication. I often say that you should view this information as a buffet. Take what you like and what resonates with you and leave the rest. In addition to the 5 love languages, Mr. Chapman also authored The Family You've Always Wanted, The Marriage You've Always Wanted, Desperate Marriages, How to Really Love Your Adult Child, and One More Try. And he co-authored When Sorry Isn't Enough, which introduces readers to the 5 languages of apology with Dr. Jennifer Thomas. People tend to express love or admiration in the way that they best receive love and admiration. This provides an opportunity and insight into various ways in which people best express and receive loving expressions, and to help us understand what it is that our partner and other people in our lives need the most. Unfortunately, if a person on the receiving end of this types of expression doesn't share our own love language, they often feel under or less appreciated despite our very best efforts. Learning about love languages and applying them to our own relationships can help us give and receive love in ways that meet our own and our partner or our children or our colleagues' needs. So let's look more closely at the 5 love languages identified by Mr. Chapman. Again, these are just methods of communication. And like spoken language, there isn't a right or a wrong love language. Our goal is to understand that people express these feelings in different ways and to assist with providing depth and breadth to the way in which you communicate with others. These preferred methods of communication impact not only our intimate relationships, but also our work relationships and our parenting relationships. Our preferences, or love languages, are often informed based on the families within our families, or based on what we cultivate within our family of origin. If you happen to have been raised in a family with a level of affluence that allowed for members of the family to express their appreciation and love for you with gifts, then you learned as a child growing up that this is an appropriate expression of love and warmth. And you may have grown into an adult that associates all those positive feelings through gift giving. If you were raised in a family that expressed love and gratitude through acts of service, such as your sister mowing the lawn or picking up one of your chores when she didn't have to, just to show you that she cared for you. You may have developed this as one of your love languages. If, on the other hand, you were the youngest of 7 children in a household that didn't exchange extravagant gifts, but spent individual quality time with members of the family as an exchange of nurturing or love, you may grow up with a different love language than the other examples. There's no correct or incorrect language. So let's talk about them. Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and gifts, the exchange of gifts, are what Mr. Chapman considers the 5 love languages. Individuals whose love language are words of affirmation prefer to use words to affirm other people. They love hearing "I love you" and other complimentary language. And negative or hurtful words cut very deeply and are not easily forgiven. Individuals who feel and express love through physical touch makes them feel safe and cared for. Nothing speaks louder than physical contact. A hug, a kiss, or physical intimacy, or wrapping your arms around someone or lying your hand on their shoulder, is an expression of love or nurturing or care through the use of physical touch. Quality time includes undivided time and attention. Unlike positive affirmation people, these individuals feel as though talk is cheap, and truly dedicating time to another is where love is. Distractions, interruptions, cancellations, and failure to listen can be very, very hurtful to individuals who seek quality time. Acts of service. These individuals believe that actions speak louder than words. They appreciate when their partner helps them out when things are stressful or challenging. These individuals do not do well with broken promises or perceived laziness and have little tolerance for people who make more work for them. And finally, the exchange of gifts. These individuals feel most love when they receive a tangible gift. This doesn't mean that the person is materialistic, but that they feel most appreciated when someone provides them with an object that expresses that love. Flowers, a lottery ticket, a handwritten note. An exchange of a gift doesn't have to be the gift in a holiday exchange or birthday gift sort of concept. It can be anything that is gifted to an individual to express your love and admiration. So these are the 5 love languages as described by Mr. Chapman in his book. Did any one of those descriptions resonate with you? Did you find yourself nodding in agreement and thinking, yes, that's me, as I did the first time I was introduced to the 5 love languages and read through this information? I knew exactly what description fit me. Is that the case for you as well? I'd like to invite you to pause the video and open a new browser or tab and use the website that is listed on the bottom of this page to find a reasonably short quiz that'll help you to discover your own love language. But before you go, please remember that there is not a right or wrong answer. These are lists of personal preferences. Answer in the way that most closely represents your personality and preferences, with the understanding that everyone is different and that every single answer is correct to someone. Welcome back. So what was your love language, or your top 2? Did the results surprise you? We generally know ourselves rather well, so very few people are entirely surprised when they finish taking that quiz. But it can provide some clarity to see it all written out before us, and then to read the descriptions, and to think about and contemplate how that impacts our lives and how it affects us. If you were to ask your partner or somebody really close to you, do you think they'd be able to describe what your love language is or love language is? So let's spend a few minutes learning how to speak somebody else's love language. This can be a useful tool if you ask your partner, your best friend, your roommates, or someone close to you, even your family members, to take the quiz and compare the two different sets of love languages. So now that you have an idea of what your love language is, let's learn about the ways to speak somebody else's love language. If somebody finds that their love language is positive affirmations, you can write notes or messages, saying I love you and showing appreciation for the person, telling other people about how deeply you appreciate your partner, telling them how great they look or how nice dinner was. Be positive. Be positive and avoid open critiques. This is how you speak the love language of somebody who feels most reassured, nourished, affirmed, and loved using positive affirmations. Physical touch. This one, likely, you'll have a long list of things. This one is an easy one. A kiss, a hug, physical intimacy, holding hands, sitting with your hand on your partner's leg or your arm around your child, checking in to see if each other's intimate needs are being met. Time together. Commit to undivided time and attention. Set aside time to really connect. Share stories about your day, do a check-in, and avoid distractions, interruptions, and cancellations. I have to admit that quality time is actually my very top love language. So one of the most important parts of my day with my family is dinner time. When I make dinner and we all sit down together and everyone is eating and sharing about the most important, most challenging, funny, and difficult parts of their day. And because my love language is time together, interrupting me when I am sharing about that really can pose a challenge or a frustration. So I love being together and I love talking about what's happening, but I really want it to happen in a way where we're all really feeling heard and respected and reinforced. So there's an example of somebody whose love language is time together. Acts of service. You can assist with less desirable household chores, laundry, dishes, mopping, sweeping, taking out the trash, literal acts of service. So you can take those things off the plate of the other individual. Those are things that will make them feel loved and cared for and respected and appreciated. Take notice to the tasks that seem to be weighing on them. Choose an event that you can teach or show or help guide your partner, like bowling or dancing or skating or tennis or handball, anything. So when you are teaching a person to do something. And finally, gifts. Remember birthdays, anniversaries, and other special days. We have lots of stories where partners forgot those really momentous occasions, and individuals whose love language is the exchange of gifts are really bothered by that. Send a postcard home when you're away, write a note and leave it to be found. Leave small gifts like flowers or chocolates or small rub-off or scratch-off or lottery tickets. Those are ways that you can speak somebody else's love language. So best luck giving and receiving in a way that resonates with you. Thank you for viewing the Family Advocacy Program's webinar. We appreciate your time and attention. If you have any additional questions regarding FAP, seek referrals for programs or services, or would like to know more about our mission, please feel free to reach out to the Family Advocacy Program Manager at 717-770-7066. Thank you.